Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to be talking about the rest of the week that was in pro wrestling. And there's some interesting stuff to get to in TNA Impact and AEW Collision. A couple of really fun shows that past week, both happened on a Thursday, so kind of a Thursday night war, if you will. Kind of interesting. So we're going to start off with TNA Wrestling, move over to Collision, and that starts right here, right now. So we start off TNA Impact Wrestling with a Mike Santana promo. Don't see his full entrance, but kind of get like the last few minutes. So he gets on the mic, says, "At Sacrifice, I went to war with Steve Maclin, a man who's one of the toughest SOBs on the roster, and I dropped him. And I was a man of my word, said I was leaving Sacrifice as champion, and I did. And now I continue my push forward to Rebellion, which brings me to Eddie Edwards, who's trying to catch me slipping. Now he finally puts that case to work. It's going to be me versus you at Rebellion. This brings out Eddie Edwards and Cedric Alexander of the System, with Eddie starting off saying, "You sound confident for a man I beat last week." And that's exactly what's going to happen at Rebellion. TNA Rebellion will be the System's night, where Cedric gets the X Division title, and the System walk away with the tag titles, and I walk away with your World Heavyweight title. And TNA will be run by the System. So then Mike Santana refutes, saying, "I hear you, but you don't really believe yourself. If you did, you'd step in here and fight me right here, right now." It looks like Eddie is about to make a beeline to Mike Santana. Cedric Alexander puts a hand onto his chest, takes the microphone, says, "We all need to calm down. You're not the only one losing the title at Rebellion. Leon, you've been ducking me this whole time. So now I got you where I want you." This brings out Leon Slater. He gets his own microphone saying, "You're acting like you're taking it easy on me. I already beat you once, no problem. So I can beat you again." So Cedric takes back the microphone, says, "That was the old Cedric. This is a new Cedric you've never seen before. And at the end of the night, we're all going to be draped in gold." And this brings out Mustafa Ali and his entire Order 4 crew. So Ali gets on the microphone and says, "Man, so much promises at Rebellion. But it's not just going to be the night for the System. It'll be a night for Order 4. Because you're looking at the next international champion." Before he could get another word out comes Trey Miguel. He has a microphone and he says, "Seems to be a rule of thumb out here. You say your opponent's name and they come running out. Ali, you're nothing more than a coward. What you did at Sacrifice to Jada was unacceptable. And you hide behind your Order 4. At Rebellion, I challenge you to be a man, and you're not walking away with my title." Then Leon gets back on the mic, says, "Enough with the talking. Let's throw these hands right here, right now." So then Eddie gets back on the mic, says, "Look around you. You're outnumbered." there's only 3 of you, and there's like 8 of us. This brings out Moose. He pretty much takes out the great hands right there and then. And he stands in the ring with the baby faces, who everyone looks like they're about to brawl. Out comes the director of authority, Santino Marella, says, "Let's everyone calm down. I have an idea. We'll do an 8-person tag match right now." So, I haven't seen a promo train like this in a very, very long time. TNA, never do this again. I'm going to say this right now. Nobody wants to see like a overly convoluted promo train like this. You want to have the match? Fine. Set it up backstage somewhere. Or let's have a big brawl and then in the beginning, and then that's our main event. I feel like that would make more sense than come out, talk, interrupted, come out, talk. It feels lazy at this point. Anyway, so we get into the match. It's Order 4 being represented by Mustafa Ali and Agent Zero, along with the System, Eddie Edwards and Cedric Alexander, taking on Mike Santana, Leon Slater, Trey Miguel, and Moose. And I'm going to tell you this, I really enjoyed this matchup. There was definitely a lot to keep track of, but eventually it did get reordered, I'd say. Like, very, very fun matchup. And then the win came after an Eddie Edwards cutter? I think it was a Mike Santana cutter on Cedric. And then Eddie Edwards hit him with the Boston Knee Party for the win for his team. So, yeah, fun opening matchup. Overly convoluted to get there. Next up, we see Daria Ray in the back. She walks into Santino. She asks, "What the heck was that?" Santino answers, "That's what people wanted." Daria then answers, "You can't follow the rules any stricter. And I know who attacked Nemeth. You got here," Santino answers, "you got here late." Daria answers, "I was at a board meeting. Do you want to know what we were talking about?" "You're on very thin ice, Santino. But that wasn't the only thing we were talking about. The main event later tonight, the winner faces Xia Li at Rebellion. So now get out of my office." Daria sits down at the table. Santino starts to go, turns around and says, "Hey, this is my office." Daria then looks up at him and says, "I don't care. You have to leave." So it does look like we have a changing of the guard kind of thing going on. I wouldn't be surprised if this led to like a lethal lockdown or something. But either way, that was interesting. Then we get a little recap of Ricky Sosa signing his TNA contract at Sacrifice. So, yeah, that's a big old signing for TNA. Cannot wait to see what more this kid can do. Then we see him first getting backstage after his contract signing. He's high-fiving backstage hands and whatever. And then Eric Young rolls in, gets right in his face and says, "Everyone's glad for the new guy." No, I'm the gatekeeper. I'm the harbinger of pain. You understand that? Good. And he walks off. So it looks like Eric Young is going to be the opening test for the new guys, which I don't mind that at all, but I do wish for something a bit more from him. Next up, we got a promo from the Hardy Boys. And this one is actually in the ring, so that's kind of nice. With Matt taking the lead a bit, which is very interesting. Saying, we want to talk about sacrifice. It was a revelation. Righteous, you betrayed us. Under different circumstances, we could have been good together. Made money and magic together. And we now know you attacked us. I'd like to do it over again. Now we're going to sniff you two out. You two made a huge mistake hiding behind your smiles. It's time. Respect is done. Now it's time for apocalyptic consequences. Matt Hardy bringing out his inner brokenness, which might be a sign of things to come, which I'm definitely excited for that. This brings out Dutch and Vincent of the Righteous. They don't get in the ring. Instead, they stay at the top of the ramp, with Vincent taking control, saying, "You're right, we are a great team. But you want to talk betrayal? We just removed what was in the way. Don't cling to your lies. You truly are stronger than death. You aren't victims, you're the offering. And this feeling you're feeling, it's not of pain, it's about the old you trying to survive. You're running from yourselves. You don't want money or title. We don't want money or titles. But what we want is bottled deep inside of you. But it's breathing." Matt retorts, "That sounds like a wonderful idea. We want you to tonight in this ring." Then Dutch replies, "That sounds like a great idea, but we're not doing this tonight. The calendar has ways of aligning. Next week, it's going to be the Hardys versus the Righteous in a tables match. We're going to do this Hardy style, in the way of the extreme." So, yeah, that's definitely a very interesting way of doing this. Yeah, I'm down for a Righteous versus Hardy Boys match. I do wish it was on the pay-per-view, though. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Bear Bronson and Brian Myers. I feel like this match could have held precedent. We have the Righteous as tag champs. I feel like that should be the goal. So then we get this weird little segment. We see Jody Threat first working out, getting ready for a match. Then we see her opponent, Tessa Blanchard, walking to the ring. Then the Rosemary and Allie's White Rabbit appears behind her. Kind of stalker, serial killer vibe. But then the rabbit gets stopped by Victoria Crawford, the former, I forget what her name is. Alicia Fox. That's who it is. So, yeah, that definitely should be interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what the White Rabbit has to do with Tessa, but maybe it's envy or something. I don't know. It's going to be weird. Then we see Mike Santana. He's packing up his stuff, getting ready to go. Then Stax and Ariana Grace roll up. And Grace pretty much says to Mike Santana, "That's tough night at Sacrifice. That's a bad look. The TNA champion getting pinned. World champions are supposed to win. Well, I got a big night tonight, so why don't you stick around, get out a pen and some paper, and take some notes." I know I'm not supposed to like Ariana Grace, but good lord, she is insufferable. And it's a shame we didn't have Danny Luna beat her. Because that felt just obvious. Next up, we got a bunkhouse match as we get Jody Threat taking on Tessa Blanchard. And I tell you, this was a really fun matchup. Tessa definitely hasn't missed a step, but Jody Threat doing like the more brawling style fits this style of match a bit more, including using the cowbell as a weapon. That was... And then they bring out like an equipment box. I don't know if that was supposed to be like an extra camera or something. We never see inside it. But Jody ends up putting Tessa's head into it and then closing it on her. That's wild. Then we see Tessa take off her own belt, start whipping Jody Threat with it, and choking her out with it. Jody attempts to hits a pop shove it. But Tessa rolls out of the ring, still holding on to Threat and the belt, kind of hanging her like Hangman Page did to Swerve not too long ago. And that's how Tessa wins the match via submission and a hangman's noose, which is very, very interesting. I'll give them creative points for that one. Then we get a little Tessa Blanchard attacking Jody Threat post-match, but the ref gets involved and stops her. Overall, fun match. Definitely a lot of plunder, but I think that definitely added to the rivalry these two have. And then we get this weird Ryan Nemeth promo saying, "Someone attacked my brother Nick at Sacrifice." He turns to... He's kind of walking the corridor, trying to blame someone. And Cass... no, it's BDE. That's who comes in. Ryan asked, "Oh, did you attack my brother?" BDE says no. Then in walks Frankie Kazarian. In which Ryan asks, "Oh, did you attack my brother?" Kaz said no, but I think it's him, pointing at BDE. BDE then says, "Don't you disrespect me or point fingers at me. I'm not backing down from this fight." Then Elijah comes in. Kaz and Ryan start running. Then Elijah walks up to BDE, says, "You want to shut his mouth for good? Give me a call." So that's an interesting setup for a match coming up. Then we get Tessa Blanchard. She's in the back somewhere. It looks like she's at catering or something. Then the White Rabbit catches her eye. White Rabbit goes into some hallway somewhere, and Tessa follows. And oh boy, the reveal to that's going to be interesting. But next up, we get AJ Francis versus the Hometown Man, which the entire time this match is going on, they're hinting, the announcers are hinting at Cody Deaner's whereabouts. So yeah, this was pretty much the AJ Francis show. Hometown Man did get some stuff in, but after a DFL and a down payment, your winner is AJ Francis. And then AJ gets on the microphone. And he says, now, unless you've been living under a rock, you've been hearing about the discourse on what happened to Nick Nemeth at Sacrifice. Then we see he shows footage of Ryan Nemeth fighting Nick after the attack. Cuts back to live. We hear from AJ Francis again saying, you want to know who done it? It was me. I made my debut for this company when I beat Joe Hendry. And Nick calls himself the show stealer when he steals opportunities from me. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm the show stealer in TNA. This brings out Ryan Nemeth. He gets up on the apron, talks a little smack to AJ. AJ goes for a big old attack on Ryan. And Ryan bails. Then AJ gets back on the microphone, says, I got a message for your brother. Last time I left you with a pulse. I'm the big man in the business, and I'm going to prove it at Rebellion. So, nice little open challenge for AJ Francis and Nick Nemeth. Then we go backstage. We see Xia Brookside getting ready to go. Then Legion Lee walks up to her and says, look, I got a nice little surprise for you. Start to play a video. It's Xia Brookside's father, Robbie Brookside, who is very much a legend in wrestling, especially over in the UK. I think it was also the GM of NXT UK for about as long as that went for. So he pretty much says, go grab yourself this moment. It is your birthright to call yourself Knockouts champion. There was a bit more to the to it, but I didn't really get it. Then after the video, Xia says yes and walks off. So that's going to be our main event. That's going to be happening a little bit. We got a little Rebellion card rundown, which that looks like a pretty fun card. I'm not going to lie. Then we see in the crowd, along with him being at Sacrifice, the one-man gang is in the house, which I think that's cool as hell. And then we get to our main event for the Knockouts title. We have Xia Brookside taking on Ariana Grace. And I'm going to say this. This was Grace's best match so far as Knockouts champion. Yes, she did get some help from Stacks, but I feel like she felt like she belonged right now. I don't know. It definitely feels like she's learning on the job, but she's doing a really good job of it. One point we see Stacks pull Xia Brookside off of the apron. Then Legion Lee gets into Stacks' face, gives him a big old elbow strike to knock him out. Then Zaya Brookside with the DDT to Stacks. They get back in. At that point, Grace was about to use Santino Marella's Cobra. Brookside stops it. We kind of have a tug of war over the Cobra. Brookside lets go. Hits a roll up for a 2 count. Then at that point, Stacks slides in Grace's Knockouts title. She's about to use it, but the ref grabs it away from her. Brookside with a code breaker, only for a 2. Zaya looks for the Brooksy Bomb, but Stacks distracts Zaya. Then Legion Lee gets in the ring, dives on Stacks, taking him out. Then with the ref distracted, Ariana Grace with the belt shot. And then a weird knee drop to pick up the win and retain her title. At that point, we see Legion Lee check on Zaya Brookside. Grace and Stacks then see this, surround her. Then Mike Santana comes out and stands with Legion Lee. They brawl for a little bit. And then Grace and Stacks bail. Then the system music hits. Mike Santana's ready for another fight. Eddie then comes down from the crowd and says, Mikey, you're out here being emotional. Your emotions run you currently. And you let everyone get under your skin. You're now a man pinned twice by me. Your ego is out of control. Mike Santana against the microphone says, Eddie, you talk real big for a man standing on the other side of the guardrail. Come in here and say those words to my face. At that point, Eddie's like, alright. Starts going to the ring, gets to the barricade, and then stops. Picks a microphone back up, says, No. I already beat you once tonight. Next time at Rebellion, I beat you for a 3rd time, and I'm going to walk out as 3-time world champion. And you're going to be known as the man who couldn't hold it together on the biggest night of his life. So Mike Santana retorts, the only thing not hold together is your face after I beat you. Eddie retort, no, this is still Santana saying, you call yourself the heart and soul of TNA. It's time. Well, at Rebellion, you're going face to face with the standard of TNA. So that ends that little promo segment. But not the program. Because then we go back. We see Tessa Blanchard. It looks like she's wandering around the old Wrestle House set. If you don't know that TNA for like 2 or 3 Thanksgivings did like a reality TV style segment, which was at first kind of funny. Then one Thanksgiving, that's all they showed, which was a little weird. I don't know. So Tessa, who she thought she was talking to herself, says, where am I? Then we see, come into focus, Father James Mitchell. He says, Tessa, welcome to the undead realm. So, yeah, that's definitely going to be that's an interesting reveal. I don't know if this means that Tessa is going to be leaving the company or she's going to take some time off or whatever. But, yeah, this is definitely an interesting revelation. I don't know if this has anything to do with what's going on with Rosemary and Allie. But, yeah, this is going to be interesting. So, yeah, that was TNA Impact. A very entertaining show. Definitely some fun revelations. And getting us excited for the upcoming pay-per-view, which I'll admit I'm looking forward to. So that's it for TNA. Now we finish up the week with AEW Collision. And we start off with a Continental title eliminator match. Basically, number one contenders match. If the challenger, I'll say that for right now, can either beat or get the champion to a time limit draw, they would eventually get a title shot. So our participants, we got the Continental Champion, Jon Moxley, and Anthony Bowens, who is trying out for the Ops, led by Hook. In which, I'll admit, I completely forgot about that story. We'll see where it goes. Honestly, this was a fun opening matchup with two guys who are very, very fun to watch. A lot of counters from Bowens, but eventually, like when he got out of the Bulldog choke, but then Moxley countered that counter into an S grip, then gets him back up, hits a Death Rider to pick up the win. Definitely an interesting opening round matchup. But what happens next pretty much cements what we're going to be seeing at, not Revolution, what is it? Dynasty. As Will Ospreay comes out and just destroys Moxley. Ospreay gets a chair. It looks like he's about to hit Mox. But Daniel Garcia and Pac save Moxley, get him out of the ring, and get him into the crowd. Ospreay then gets on the microphone and says, "Oi, Mox, this isn't personal. You wrapping this chair around people's neck, then stomping on it. Usually you get Claudio to do it, but on the night you gave me my injury, you pulled the trigger on me. I'm done with whatever's coming out of your mouth. I want your neck. And while we already have a date for Dynasty, I want to make a small change. You want to know the thing I like about this title? No one of your mates are allowed ringside, and I get you for 20 minutes one-on-one. So at Dynasty, I want you to put this title on the line, you little bitch." So, nice, easy promo from Will Ospreay. And then we kind of just get it. Like, I'm going to continue to say this. I know a lot of people are tired of the authority figures in wrestling. I think it's time AEW get one. And honestly, as much as I love Mick Foley and I would love to see him come in, I think the perfect choice is Chris Jericho. I think he would be perfect to be the authority figure for AEW so that we can have match announcement and stipulation announcements rather than just Tony Schiavone announcing it and then match graphic. I feel like that would add to the presentation for AEW, which definitely needs a little bit of help. So that's my rant about that. Over with. we now move backstage to a promo from the Don Callis family, specifically Kazuchika Okada, Mark Davis, and who is it? Andrade. So Okada pretty much takes the lead on this. Says, tonight we got a tag match against the Rascals. We're going to get revenge for Kyle. Kyle is out hurt, but where is Takeshita? But now you got a better partner, Mark Davis and Andrade. And tonight we all fight for Kyle. So, nice, easy promo. Apparently, Kyle Fletcher is going to be out for a little while with I want to say it's a torn meniscus, in which, Mr. Fletcher, feel better soon, my man. Gonna miss you. And, about to be a really fun run we are about to go on in AEW. As we get the Divine Dominion, the current women's tag team champions, take on Ava Lawless and Christina. Squash match. I mean, the potential challengers did get some stuff in, but ultimately this was a Divine Dominion squash match, finishing it up with the Divine Intervention. I'm going to say this right now. Tony, I don't mind the squash matches. Can we get a story around the women's tag team titles, please? Like, you got a decent amount of women's tag teams. Let's see them challenge for it. Or at least a story to go along for it. Anyway, then we go backstage for a promo from the Death Riders. Mostly Jon Moxley, who says, I'm not surprised by Ospreay wanting a match. I'm surprised he wants to challenge for the Continental title in the purest form of competition. And I know you're not going to the match at 100%. This is about keeping our sport pure and finding out they need to in time. And funny thing is, I don't need to beat Ospreay. And Ospreay is just going to beat himself. Nice easy promo from Jon Moxley. Then we got a promo from MVP, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley. The Hurt Syndicate are back in action, baby. And MVP everyone says that. Don't change your channel. We are the Hurt Syndicate. Everyone is here and accounted for. But now it's time we should add to the group. And business is good right now. But business is about to pick up a lot. And then Lashley turns to both of them. Says, let's go hurt people. And they all walk off. So, I'm going to give a little predictions on a couple potential new members for the Syndicate. And no, none of them are going to be Cedric Alexander, even though that would probably make the most sense. Number one, I kind of want Lio Rush back in the fold. I feel like his partnership with Bobby Lashley was a lot more fun. And I think he would fit really, really well in the Syndicate. Maybe not with his current gimmick, though. Guy number two, potentially, either Anthony Bowens or Max Caster. I feel like a younger guy would fit in, and they could mold him into what he could potentially be. Another potential one, this time being a woman. I'm going to say Red Velvet. Like, I know she's having some nice success on Ring of Honor, but I feel like she would fit in to the group so well. There are others I'd like to see, but I'm very open-minded and about what's going to happen here. Next up, we got the TBS title on the line in an open challenge format. Love that. We got Willow Nightingale, and her opponent revealed to be former 3-time AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida. I love seeing Shida back. Hopefully she's back for good now. And this match, while being unaccounted for, I guess, this match ruled. This was such a good little matchup. Near the end of the match, Shida goes for her katana finishing move, which is a great name. She whiffs. Willow with an elbow. Shida whiffs on a clothesline. Willow with a roll-up for the sneaky victory. And as Willow's celebrating, Shida grabs her entrance kendo stick, which, honestly, that's hilarious. Looks like she's about to smack Willow Nightingale in the back. But then she puts it down. Willow turns, unaware of what was happening. Looks like she's about to go shake Shida's hand. Shida doesn't really do that. And then Willow gives Shida thumbs up, which, honestly, that's pretty funny. So next we get, as Willow's leaving, we get security surrounding the ring. FTR come out for their match against Landon Lightning, great name for a wrestler, and former DPW guy Mo Jabari, in which I'm glad to see him wrestling again. And at first, we had Lightning in, and he was getting destroyed by FTR. Mo Jabari tagged in. He got some really good stuff in on FTR. But then he takes a enziguri, tags in Lightning. Lightning comes in. Both members of FTR are down. He goes for a pin on Dax. Barely a one. Gets pushed off. They both get up. Hit the Shatter Machine to pick up the win. As they're celebrating, Cage and Copeland's music plays. They come out and they just brawl with FTR. Dax is about to hit a pile driver on Cage. Cage blocks it. Big old low blow to Dax Harwood. Then Cope in the other corner just starts biting Cash Wheeler. Cope then with an Impaler DDT sets up Cash for a concerto, in which you had a chair on the ground, Dax on the chair about to swing down, but then Stokely grabs the chair from Cage, gets his guys out of the ring. Then two other security guards come out, start fighting with Cage and Cope. Cage with a kill switch on one, spear to the other. Then they hit the concerto on the security guard. Which, that should definitely be a fine. We'll see what happens there. I'm now more excited for this tag match at Dynasty than I was before. But yeah, this should definitely be a fun one. Then we get a little backstage interview with the Brawling Birds and Mina Shirakawa. And this is Alex Windsor to start, saying, "We called out Thekla, we mean it. This bird wants to fly, so be it." So then Jamie Hayter takes over and says, "Thekla, winning that world title back has definitely been on my mind. I've been champion before, but we're people that love to brawl. And with someone so small, you've got a big mouth. I beat you once, I can do it again. Let's do it at Dynasty." In which, again, my pet peeve is here, that the graphic just kind of shows up. But then Mina kind of gets a little face-to-face with Hayter. She says, "Don't just beat her. Beat the piss out of her." So I do enjoy this partnership. It's a whole lot of fun. And then Hayter versus Thekla. Yes, freaking please. That match is gonna rule. Speaking of matches that ruled, we got this very interesting little matchup. Juice Robinson taking on Tommaso Ciampa. Now, they have had a few little interactions here and there. Revolution Gauntlet Battle Royal. Juice Robinson eliminated Ciampa. Last week, Ciampa beat Ace Austin. Tried to attack Juice, but Juice caught him, which leads to this match. And honestly, the chemistry between these two was absolutely awesome. And I'm going to say this. Go watch it for yourself. Because it was... They pretty much countered everything in their arsenal. With Robinson going for Juice's loose near the end, which Ciampa gets out of. Hits a couple of big old knee strikes to the head. And your winner, Tommaso Ciampa. I hope this means we are building to something really big for Ciampa. But good lord, that was an awesome matchup. Definitely giving it a must-see matchup. Anyway, go backstage for an Isaiah Cassidy promo as he reveals that Mark Quinn is now out with an injury and he's going to be out for a long time. And it's clearly time for another change. The last time we changed, we won the tag titles. But my partner is out. I'm on my own. Now I get to swim with the sharks. And I didn't come this far to just come this far. I'm hungry and it's time to eat. Great little promo from Cassidy. Go from one great promo to one kind of promo. As we see Darby Allin, he's in the back, saying to no one in particular, "I have to beat Andrade. Omega on the ramp, you told me you'd honor our stipulation." Then Brody King and Jack Perry walk in. With Brody says, "We went to war together." Perry says, "You set me on fire." Brody retorts, "But you were there for me against the Death Riders." Darby then says, "It's all true. I know we can exist for one night. So are we cool?" He and Brody kind of slap hands. As does Perry and Darby. Then Darby and Brody King walk off. Perry then kind of looks down the camera and says, "He set me on fire." Which I completely forgot about that. That was wild. Anyways, we go to our next matchup as it's Andrade and Mark Davis of the Don Callis family taking on Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel, Desmond Xavier from the Rascals. And before the bell hits, Callis family jump the Rascals, get him in the ring, and it's pretty much a fireworks show. Like, it was a great mix of high flying from the Rascals, some good grounded wrestling from the Callis family, especially Mark Davis. Like, Davis brought the power this time. Then near the end, Davis hits a pile driver, tags in the Andrade, who hits the DM, which is his, like, spinning neckbreaker move, to pick up the win. Then, as Mark Davis and Andrade are leaving the arena, Okada and Roppongi Vice come out, start attacking the Rascals. Okada hits the Rainmaker on Wentz. Then Myron Reed comes back out and fights off the Callis family himself, which, that was absolutely impressive. Guess we're getting some sort of trios match, maybe, between the Callis family and the Rascals, which definitely would be here for. Or we get Okada versus Myron Reed, which I would definitely be there for. And then, we get this crazy, just this nutty main event. It's an 8-man tornado tag match, so no tags in a tag match. So we got the Dogs being represented by David Finlay and Claude Connors, teaming up with the Death Riders of Claudio Castagnoli and Daniel Garcia to take on Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy of the Conglomeration, along with Mystico and Kevin Knight. And this match was all over the dang place and just absolutely insane. Like, I had a hard time keeping up with everything, but this match was just so much fun. Finish comes after a La Mystica from Mystico, which, great name, and then a UFO splash from Kevin Knight to pick up the win for the team. More than kind of an out of nowhere match, but that was so much fun. A little tough to keep track of, but honestly, I loved every single moment. Do I recommend this? If you want to go see it, I'd say absolutely, but I don't think it's really appointment viewing. Actually, speaking of that, AEW has done a much better job at making Collision feel connected to the greater AEW universe. And yes, I'm using that. Sue me. But if I have two criticisms. One, give us a story for the women's tag team titles. And then two, let's get some main events that actually have some story to them, instead of this random weirdness that honestly was just pure fun. Anyway, that'll do it for me. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like the video. Comment your favorite match from this week. I'd like to hear from you. I definitely got some big stuff coming up. We got not just WrestleMania coming up. This week we got Rebellion on Saturday. We got Dynasty on Sunday. Then the next week, we got all these great shows in Vegas leading up to WrestleMania. Definitely more hyped for those than I am for WrestleMania, and that's fine. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a very interesting week. And I'm going to say something maybe a little controversial. If you're in Vegas at any point before WrestleMania, go see some other shows. Like, go see House of Glory show. Go see Stardom, TJPW, whatever other show is out there. Go pick something. Go watch. Maybe you'll find a new favorite. So, that will do it for me. Till next time. Happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.